So now can we all turn to page 17, which is the accommodations and modifications page. So this page generally talks about the accommodations and the support services that Irene is receiving.
Okay.
So we've all agreed it is necessary for Irene to have accommodations for her general ed and her deaf ed class. As we look under the accommodation and modifications page, there's a few items that's been marked here.
Okay.
And so as of right now, Irene is receiving additional 30 minutes in all her subject areas. So basically, if it's time for us to move from social studies to science or math to language arts, she can spend an additional 30 minutes working on her stuff before she can join us. That just gives her extra time to do her work.
Okay.
As far as notebooks, classwork, journals, they have to be checked by either me or
Miss
Parada. So anytime she completes classwork, like let's say for example we do a writing journal, and she does it in Ms. Parada's class, she has to give it to Ms. Parada and she has to check off that it's been complete before she can turn it in.
Okay.
So also she has to have her hearing aid on at all times except for PE. Same thing with her glasses. She needs to have her glasses on at all times except for PE.
Okay.
Irene does use an interpreter for science and social studies and her specials. And specials, art, music.
Okay.
So she doesn't, what we are planning on doing is we kind of see that there is some struggles in social studies as far as the literacy part of the social studies. So me and Ms. Prado have talked about adding a deaf ed paraprofessional. And that's basically a teacher's assistant. And so while she's in the mainstream, while she's in science and social studies, a teacher's assistant will pretty much come and sit next to Irene, and she's going to work with her. And just kind of anything that she doesn't understand, she'll just kind of help her out. So and also that will help her be more focused with the interpreters. Because Miss Prada did inform me there's times that she'll kind of glance off and sometimes, and if she looks away, then she's gonna miss the content. So the paraprofessional will help her focus and look at the interpreter. Then when they're finished, then the paraprofessional will basically help her.
A personal tutor almost. Like she'll guide her through
her classroom.
Yeah.
Okay.
So hopefully we can come into agreement to add that into her instruction. In her mainstream classes, she does get preferential seating, which basically means she sits at the front, and then she needs that so she can be able to see the interpreter and also be able to hear the teacher's speech.
Okay.
And also, like I stated, during the math instruction, she does have frequent breaks because of she gets frustrated, and I feel like it does help her. So if you feel that after discussing, if you feel that maybe she needs frequent breaks with reading, please let me know, and we can talk about that later, and maybe we can have that added to maybe for reading instruction so that it can lessen the frustration. We're also going to continue using FM systems in all the subject areas.
Okay, that's the microphone.
Yes.
And
we wear the microphone, and it's going to be connected to her hearing aids.
Okay.
I don't know if you would like to add this. If you would like, I could also suggest that she is able to take breaks during the time that she's in my class, just in case she does get frustrated. That'd be completely up to you, and I'd be okay with that.
Yeah, I think it's a good idea. When she does her homework at home, she only does about 15 minutes at a time, just so she can do what she has to do.
Like manageable chunks.
Yeah, and that's good. And it does. I can see that it helps her in math. So we can add that for social studies if you'd like, or reading.
Okay. Yeah, that'd be great.
Okay, cool. Now we're down to the speech pathology part.
Okay.
I see Irene twice a week for 30 minutes. Right now, we're currently working on improving her speech. Just some articulations, making sure when she pronounces a word, she pronounces them in full, so that we're able to understand her.
Okay.
Before we started treatment, I have discussed this with a general ed teacher. Basically, we're going to continue to keep working on grammar and building language and her language structure. Okay. Both orally and written. Basically, we do a lot of acting out social scenes, so we try to. I'll give her a real life scenario, and I'll say, what would you do if someone hurts your feelings? And so she would tell me what she would do, and then we'll kind of act it out.
Yeah,
so and
she's real shy. Oh my gosh, she does not like to talk to anybody. I mean, sometimes she's shy with like extended family, like my mom or my dad. She's sometimes she's shy with them too.
Okay.
So she is painfully shy. So that sounds like that would definitely help her.
Okay, and when we get very theatrical, especially like with Reader's Theater, I don't see the shyness at all.
Really?
She's very, she's very outspoken, and so, that's kind of one of the perks of me being a deaf ed teacher and a speech path, because I see certain things that is going on in the classroom, and I'm able to incorporate that into speech therapy.
Yeah.
So because she likes Reader's Theater so much, that's why I want to work on, pragmatic skills, which is basically social behavior. What would she do in certain situations? So that's why I have her act out social situations, but she has to tell me first what she would do before we act it out. So that's kind of one of our games.
So you build on what she
and help expand language. Yes.
Okay.
Also, we work on just basic grammar stuff like verbs, pronouns. We work on sentence corrections. Her 6-month evaluation is coming up in about 3 weeks. So that's basically where I will do another assessment, and I'm going to see if she's completed her goals or if she needs to keep working on her goals. So there's 2 things here. If she completes her goals, meaning when I test her and she makes a certain amount, like a particular score, I will minimize her goals. And which is good, because the more I minimize, the more she doesn't need speech therapy anymore. Okay. So I'll do that. But if I see that her score has not changed from the last 6 months, or if it's decreased, then we'll have to do we'll keep the same goals for the next 6 months. Okay. And in 6 months, I'll reevaluate her and see where she is. Okay. So and also once I do the test, I will send you home the results. And if you have any questions on interpretations or anything, please feel free to call me, and I will. We can meet up and I can discuss that further with you.
Okay. Well, that sounds good then.
Okay.
So is that it?
Well, I mean, after everything we've discussed, do you have any questions, concerns, or comments?
No. You answered my questions during that I had, so no, I'm
So do you agree to all of the accommodations and modifications that we're going to include?
Yeah.
And just to clarify, you said okay to the extra time.
Yes.
And
yes.
Okay, the breaks. Okay.
Okay, so if we all agree, we should all sign off at the bottom of the IEP.
Okay.
All right then. Well, thank you for coming out, Mrs. Benjamin.
You. And thank you. It was really great meeting you.
And we look forward to the next 6 months of school.
All right.